Hi, I'm Kyle, a tired therapist.
And I'm Jackie, also a tired therapist.
And together, we are
Two tired therapists. Welcome to the pod.
I think we sound like flops when we start. We're like, hi,
Hi.
Jackie, how are you? Like, it's awful. It's awful.
I know. When I'm
Canceled.
trying to make us famous, I'm determined.
I love it.
I'm determined.
We are getting the likes on the reels.
Well, we have a YouTube now.
Oh, we do?
Yeah. So, well.
Are there cameras here?
No.
Oh, we should.
Justin
No.
might
Just on me.
Justin,
Just on me.
Justin might talk me into it. It depends.
Just on me and the dogs.
Just on the dogs. It's just them sleeping. But I've been posting our reels to YouTube too, and we get a lot of views. It's crazy. Yes. Let me look.
Wow.
One of the ones I posted had like 500 views.
Jackie's really putting in the work. Jackie's ready to leave.
Justin's like, you should try this app. He's like, you can make reels. Because I was like, how the fuck do you make a
I know
reel?
when you were like,
I felt like a damn boomer. I was like, how the fuck do you make a reel?
And then when you came to me, you're like, I can show you. I was like, no. I'm still stuck on TikTok.
No,
so I'll be done.
It is a mess. It's actually not that hard, but I have to really sit and play with. I told Justin, I was like, I really have to play with it because I'm literally just taking the templates are right now. I'm not really messing too much with it. But
it's great.
It's oh my god, it's so funny. I can't.
But I feel like that's how you get famous is through the reels. I mean, that's what everybody watches.
Okay, so oh my god, holy shit, I have one.
But is it just because it comes up? Like they don't actually.
You have to click on it. I mean, it's not like something that like you have. I mean, shorts.
Are people looking at our the profile then? Can you look at that?
I mean, yes and no.
We need to post more reels of us talking.
We've gotten to 2,600 views in the last 28 days on our, and we've had 4 more subscribers.
Yeah, we need to do like little clips like we used to.
Yeah, we might do that.
I know you hate them.
It's fine.
But
I told Justin, I was like, I'm determined. I'm like, after the water mixing fiasco, I was like, we cannot. And then I was like, I have to make that my first fucking reel.
That has to be. That's the new campaign of this podcast is to take down the people who do water videos. Like it used to be TikTok, now it's people who do water videos.
Yeah.
Like
well, everyone, welcome.
We'll
see how much Justin edited out of the previous conversation. Probably quite a bit.
There's a lot of good discussion that producer Justin gets to edit.
Yes. Well, welcome back to Two Tired Therapists.
We're happy to be here.
Yes. It's been a crazy week, but we're here. We're ready to go. And
we're queer. Get used to it.
Yeah, and we decided to torture ourselves some more, a la the Torture Poet Society, which is making big waves.
Big waves.
Have you listened to any of it?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, just Taylor Swift's new album came out this week.
May I start? That was going to be my What's Tired.
Sure, go right into it.
I'm sure anyone who listens to this podcast is not surprised that this week that is what I'm tired of. And here's why. At first, one of my clients said something like, happy whatever TT
Tortured Poets TP. It's like TTPD, the Tortured
something.
Poets Society.
But they said like happy whatever day. And I was like, what is that? And so like any respectable millennial, I started to Google what that meant.
Yeah.
Wrong move. Because all of the conspiracy theories about her
are
being an alcoholic and it was too much.
You've gone down the wormhole.
It's too much. I'm tired of it. Taylor Swift, she's back and I can't stand it. I'm tired. Why?
I've listened to some of it. It's not bad, but I don't think it's that great, to be honest. I think some of her other albums, this is controversial, brave thing of me to say, but I think some of her other albums are way better. I've listened to like half of it. It's fine. Well, it's not bad. It's not terrible.
It's like those memes, like have you seen, I think they're mostly about Florence and the Machine, not Florence and the Machine. Who's that other kind of ethereal singer that everyone Lana Del Rey. They'll be like,
I don't know how I got that.
I don't either, but I love it. They'll be like anyone that's a Lana Del Rey fan, and it'll be like one note, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I love this so much. This is the best thing ever." Blah 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 blah. And that's what the Swifties do.
Well, and so that leads me to what I'm tired of, which is the people who take stuff way too like fandoms who are way too serious about it,
make it their personality.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like I'm not. Like she's fine. Like I would definitely go see her concert. Watch it on Disney Plus. Very good. If you have Disney Plus, I would recommend watching it. We broke it up into like 4 days though, because it's like 3.5 hours. I mean,
God.
it's so much. Yeah.
Oh, here come the dogs.
Oh, so sorry if you hear the clickety clacks. This episode
We're in a new location.
We are in
the household of Jackie and Justin today, and there's a lot of noise.
So there's some clickety clacks.
That's okay.
Y'all can deal with it. But yeah, so I don't know. There's just some people who are like, I'm reading, and unfortunately, my Reddit for some reason is all Swift news, and I don't know why.
Because if you stop on a post for more than 2 seconds, it's like,
true.
oh, you want this?
And so people are like, I mean, it's unhinged.
Crazy
it's
behavior.
like I know this song is about this person because this letter is in this lyric, and this letter means like 55 other, and it's like almost like because Illuminati level of like.
It is right. I saw
crazy.
that one, something about a diss to Kim Kardashian because
that was a good song.
The word Kim was spelled out, and I was like, oh,
yeah, thank you. It's actually a good song. I like it.
My God.
But it's funny because she's basically saying, like, part of the song is like, your daughter sings my songs now, so basically fuck you. That's kind of what it is. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting.
It's
so
interesting, but it's tired.
Yeah, it is tired. I don't know.
She's back.
She's back, and she's pining over someone. It's not the one everybody thought. The album is not about who everybody thought it was going to be about, and it's about somebody else. Oh, and everybody is losing their shit.
Losing their shit on it.
Anyways.
Well, what are you tired? Oh, you already said. Yeah. You already said that.
They go together.
Well, I'm glad we're on the same page this week.
Like,
we're usually not on the same page. This is crazy.
It's usually completely opposite. Stuff. But
speaking of crazy behavior,
get ready for P1 because this is the definition of insanity. But we decided to torture poets ourselves and end this whole Twilight Saga.
We were at the point of no return. We had to continue. We have to finish the Twilight Saga.
Kyle and I put ourselves through hell to watch the last.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
I will say the end, it was better than it began.
Yeah. And then, we said we would rank our movies, so maybe we'll do that in the next episode.
Okay.
But this is part 1. And unlike how we have been doing it, we're not going to do like a shot for shot scene because that's just a lot. We'll discuss. I have notes, and so does Kyle, but I'm gonna read this little synopsis that is, you just Google breaking down part 1 synopsis, and this is what it says. At last, Bella and Edward are married. When Jacob finds out that Bella wants to spend her honeymoon as a human, he is horrified, for Edward's passion could accidentally kill her. Oh, I love that.
We'll talk about that.
Well, we're gonna talk about that.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Bella does indeed survive her honeymoon, but a new complication arises when she discovers that she's pregnant and the child is growing at an alarming rate. The pregnancy sets the wolves against Bella and Edward, but Jacob vows to protect his friend. That's a pretty good one.
That is a pretty. Synopsis. I think that's the big stuff.
I won't digress. It's too much. Okay, let's. So you have to think also, I just want to note for the listeners, this movie came out in 2011. So this is a 12-year-old movie now.
Ew,
13-year-old movie.
That's disgusting.
Let's just.
Well, it's basically the wedding.
Yeah, it's basically the wedding.
The wedding starts. We have to talk about it. The wig journey. We're still on a wig journey.
I think it got better.
It got better. The Cullens are the word. Their wig journey. We're still having.
I do think some of them had their actual hair in the last one. I think Carlisle, that was his actual hair.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well,
and Alice's hair still.
Yeah, still struggling.
Yeah.
It's the wedding. Mm-hmm. I do. Bella, of course, hates what's going on in her life. It wants nothing to do with the wedding.
She's just tortured. She's tortured.
It's fine.
I found the whole him being like the night of, and he's like, well, I used to eat people.
I know. I was like, what are you trying to do? I put Edward the martyr trying to talk her out of this wedding.
Thank you. Yeah. And of course, she doesn't care. She's like, whatever.
I wouldn't care either. I mean,
at this point.
Yeah. What are you trying to, I don't know. I do want to mention one thing. I don't know if you noticed this. I just have to, because I wrote this. And before that, like during the day when she's trying on the heels and she puts her regular shoes back on, do you know she put her fucking shoes in with no socks? She had like she had like Converse or like boot shoes.
Ew.
I was like,
girl,
I can't. Anyways,
nasty feet.
Anyways, yes. So then, that night, and then he's like, oh, you know what? Like, let's just like, I'm gonna go hunting. Like, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll be the one in white. I don't.
Lame.
Get out. And she said something too, because of course they get on the whole, I'm going to be a vampire and I know that I can, he's like, well, you're going to like want to eat people. And she's like, I know I can do this. Girl, shut up.
You don't know what it's gonna.
You don't know
spoilies.
anything.
It's about to get rough up in here for her.
Thank you.
But I think the interesting thing that we could discuss is her dream before the day.
Dark.
Well, in the book, it was a lot more violent. Also, in the book, she dreamed a baby was in it, and then the movie I specifically remember the book. I thought there was like a little baby eating everybody.
Maybe.
But in the movie, they didn't show that. It was just bloody people.
Right.
The book, it was much more like. It was more descriptive, like who had cuts where or whatever.
This was definitely a dark.
But she basically dreams that she's at the wedding. Her and Edward are at the altar. She like looks at him. He's got kind of like blood kind of dripping down from his mouth. She looks down and everybody, all the humans in her life, her dad, Jessica, Mike, Angela, all those people are dead in a giant pile of blood. And then
she has blood on
her
too.
Yeah, she's got blood all over her dress, and like she didn't look like a vampire. I couldn't tell if that's what that, but. Anyways, so she has this crazy dream, and then of course the next morning she's like, I just didn't sleep very well. And I was like, wow, interesting. Also, I will say I would not have trusted Rosalie to do my hair. That bitch hates you. Why would you let her do your hair?
Thank you. And she's wearing a wig, so we're gonna let her do it.
I said that bitch would sabotage it.
Absolutely.
So it's the wedding day. So of course they're all getting ready. They're all doing their thing. Charlie comes in. He notices all the graduation caps, which I thought was a hilarious
That was cute.
nod.
Like, that's weird.
Renee didn't even give it her. Bella's mom was like,
no.
Oh, that's so clever.
She's a flop.
And Charlie's like, the fuck is this shit?
Right. What is going on here? He went through it.
Well, and he was kind of an ass. Do you not? Because so they go upstairs and Bella's there. She's getting ready. And so Renee gives her this like hair clip thing that's really beautiful. And he's just like, well, it's been in our family for so long. It's just as old as your mother. Or whatever. And I was like, why is he being such a dick to her? I don't know. I thought that was weird. There was another thing. I think there was something else he said. But so they're getting married. It looks like it's in the backyard of the Cullen household.
It was I think it was at the Cullen's house.
They made some big canopy of. It actually looked really pretty.
It was really.
Thoughts on outdoor weddings we need to discuss.
It depends. It depends when and where. If you're in the Midwest in the middle of June, no, don't even think about it.
Yeah, I think it's dependent. I don't like them I don't like it because I think the weather is too variable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard to know like if it's going to be nice or if it's going to be the right temperature. I mean, they're in Washington State, so it's probably
but that's
not
even
awful.
Seems riskier of like, well, it could rain at any moment.
Well, and I'm surprised they didn't have like a tent and then like hang the stuff, but it was beautiful. I mean, the decorations were beautiful.
Did you hear Jessica's comment about like Bella, like, oh, I wonder if she's showing in her wedding dress? I was like, that's Jackie and Kyle at the wedding. Being like, well,
I laughed so hard.
And Stephanie Meyer,
I was just like, Stephanie Meyer alert, a long focus on her. Like it wasn't just a little flick. It was like a stare down at her.
Well, she was the producer for this movie.
That's true.
So she probably said, I will have my debut.
We do have to discuss Bella's wedding dress. I didn't know your thoughts.
I thought it was fine.
I think it's okay. I think it could have been better.
The front needed some work. The back was beautiful.
I remember it was much more detailed in the book, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was very kind of, I don't know. The back was pretty.
The front just looked like they wrapped the fabric around her.
It was, well, and I didn't like the pleating or like the seaming on it was really odd.
No, it was bad.
I wonder how many bitches back in the day got similar wedding dresses. Because I remember when this came out, they were like throwing bridal collections and all sorts of shit.
Well, and it's also the birth of that corny folk song that every white person has at their wedding now.
What?
She was a
Oh, yeah.
And then I had to ask, prom song, and then I had to ask, was that at your wedding?
No.
Did you play that? You better.
No.
I would have left. If you said yes. I put in there, I said, ask Jackie if that was at her wedding.
No, that was not on any playlist that we had. The only I would say the only thing I can remember like song wise that would have been from like a TV show or movie was actually we played you ever watch the Gilmore Girls?
No.
The Gilmore Girls, there was a song that they played that I really liked when Lorelai and Luke, the main characters, finally got together. Like, I liked it. We played it during the dinner hour. But otherwise, like, I didn't play anything that would, like, been known specifically from a movie. But no, that was not at my wedding. But yeah, they call it, so they get married to the little proms. You know, they dance in that little gazebo with the two other awkward couples.
Well, and they were like slow dancing during like fast songs too. I was like, get the fuck out of here. You guys are flops.
Also, did you hate how they made out?
Yes. I said completely making out at the wedding, inappropriate.
I said making out in front of your guest, flop, big old flop.
Big old flop.
Gross.
That was
well, they hadn't even been declared like husband. Like she just was like, you're so hot. And then like they turn the camera and no one's there. And I'm like,
well, because it's like you're just the only person in the world.
I know, but I'm like, originally I was like, wait, are they kissing so long? Everybody laughed. We were watching the theater and I was like, wait. And then I was like, oh, it's supposed to it's supposed to do that. Right. But anyways, I hated that. Hated it.
Absolutely.
Anyways, God, the whole thing. I mean, it was a beautiful wedding for what it was.
It was
giant cake. They had the next one of the next shots was the cake. We do have to discuss that cake.
It was huge. And
that was like as big as like a fucking shed.
And Jessica being bitter about it, and then and then Alice rolls up and is like, "Are you guys having fun?" And they're like, "Totally."
Yeah, it's great.
And she was like, "Do you think it's too much?" They're like, "No, of course not." No. And they were literally just shit talking it before. Which it's funny because she heard them because she's a vampire, so she 100% heard them.
Yeah. Well, and of course they've invited the wolves, which only I believe Seth Clearwater was the only one who went out of all of them. Nobody else went.
I don't think so.
So then they show the Denali Coven, which is like their cousins. So these are vampires that live together.
Alaska.
Yep, they're from Alaska. And one of the sisters, there's 3 sisters, they're all blonde. The Maggie Grace, shout out to Maggie.
Maggie.
She is Irina. She does not like the wolves because she and Laurent had a little.
They were paired. I didn't know that. Little boom boom.
Little boom boom.
I had forgotten that.
I did too.
When she was all like freaking out, I was like, "What is going on, girl?"
And I remember, I don't remember in the movies. I don't talk about him going to Denali.
Right.
Well, he kind of says something like, "I'm interested in your ways. Maybe I'll like go up to Alaska." But I think in the book they talk a lot more like they actually had a full-blown like they were mated, I think is what they call it.
Mated. Yeah.
And so she's pissed because I wrote she's pissed because she boned Laurent and the wolves killed him. So she sees the wolves and she's like, I hate this, and she leaves and they're like, oh, we're like so sorry. So that sets it up for like the future awkwardness. But then we need to talk about the most awkward thing about this goddamn movie is the microphone, and everybody said, you know what, I'm gonna get up there and I'm gonna make a speech.
Literally, I put the unhinged speeches.
I said the speeches scene, oh my god. So Emmett goes up first and he talks about like, oh, you're not going to get much sleep, blah, blah, blah.
Which is both double entendre because first they're gonna boner city, but two, because she's gonna die. She's gonna be a vampy, and not sleep anymore.
Right. Then Jessica gets her ass up there and it's just like, isn't it funny how like Edward like he liked Bella, but she's not getting the vibe all right. I'm like, that's a bold ass fucking move to go up there.
But he's not me.
And like we call him the hair. I was like, wow,
too much.
And then Charlie is like, I know, I got a gun.
I know how to shovel. Use it. I know how to find things. Yeah.
Charlie's was the best. Alice was like, oh, I hope you love it. I'm gonna just love dressing you. That was weird. I'm like, why would you even get up there and say anything? It was, whatever. Yeah. Renee gets up there and sings a lullaby. No. And then Esme should have been the only one to do a speech. Hers was lovely. She was like, we love, love Bella. It was beautiful. Part of our
family.
Right. Yeah. And we're so happy Edward finally found his person or whatever.
Everyone else unhinged.
No. I was physically like recoiling into my couch. I was like, I hate this. Like I remember watching the theater and being like, this is disgusting. And then Edward sweeps Bella away and is like, you know what? I got a little present for you, girl. Got a little present for you. We got to go somewhere special. And Bella's like, you know what? Yes, here we go. And they walk around the house and there is Jacob just walking the fuck up, crashing. Cause he's kind of been missing. He's not talked to her.
Because at first she's like, oh, he didn't come.
And then he immediately loses his shit because he's like, oh, you're not going to change immediately? You're going to go to your honeymoon? What does that mean? And then basically Bella has to spell it out for him. Like, we're going on our honeymoon. We're going to fuck basically.
I mean,
as a human vampire. Yes. So sorry you don't like it, whatever. And Jacob starts losing his shit and almost phases. And then all the other werewolves come up and they're like yoink, and they pull him out of there. And then poor Seth Clearwater like looks back and is like, sorry,
because he was having a great time. Boo Boo was having a good time.
Yeah, little Boo Boo was having a great time. And I thought it was so weird. I'm like, they're Jacob and Bella's conversation about her future sex life was very, I don't know why it made me uncomfortable, but it really made me uncomfortable. Did it make you uncomfortable?
When?
Like when he comes out and he's just like, you're going to be a human on your honeymoon. Like, I don't know. Like that
I thought the whole interaction with Jacob was awkward because first off, she cried and she didn't cry through her whole wedding, but she cried with him. And I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden Edward's like, sure, I'll leave you two alone to get a last bean flick in, I guess. Like, go for it.
And a fist fight nearly erupted over
it.
Sex. Stupid. But anyways, the wedding ends. They do their little send off, and then as they're driving away, you can hear Jacob howling in the background like a little drama bitch that he is. I hated it. I said he is the drama. Like that was so dumb. So Edward won't tell Bella where they're going for their honeymoon, which is so romantic. I would hate it. I could not.
I'd be like, first off, you better be taking me to McDonald's before we go anywhere.
I'm like, this poor girl. Like,
or Taco Bell.
In the book, I remember him being much more attentive to her human needs of like food and like all that stuff. But so she doesn't know where they're going. They get on like a private plane. They fly to Brazil. They get out of this fucking car in Brazil, and then they're just dancing in the street. Did you not find that? I'm like, is Brazil like this?
And she's fine.
Is this
That's what I thought too.
Have you ever been? I've never been.
No, I've never been.
I was like,
Brazil,
this is crazy.
Brazil fans, call in. Let us know.
Please, no. I need to know if this is on like a random night. If everybody's out
just
in
on
the street partying and dancing.
Probably.
Also, I don't know how you feel, but I would not love to drive a boat in the pitch black. I know Edward can see because he's a vampire, but I would be like, this man's about to shove me overboard.
I would need to be Xannied up to
Same.
get through
I would have to be
Are you kidding
Xanny
me?
plus alcohol. There's no way. I don't think I could do it.
No way.
And then they go to Isle Esme, which is the island that Carlisle bought for Esme.
I hate it.
And maybe we should take a break here before we like really get into it, because the next
we have to really talk about this honeymoon.
Oh no, we
have a lot to talk about.
We have so much to talk about.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Yeah,
because it's gonna get crazy.
Yes, we will be right back.
And we're back.
Did you get your lingerie ready?
Oh, I'm triggered. Trigger warning for this.
So before the break, we said Isle Esme. They right up to this beautiful house. Mm-hmm. There's a bed. There's lots of lingering camera shots on the bed. Bella's like, oh my God, she kind of freaks out, and Edward's like, you tired? You want to go for a swim? Which I put equals, we're going to Pound Town.
Oh, well, so here's what I said. I said, because they kind of go on the tour of the little thing, and he's showing her, and they get to the bed, and there's this like coyness with the bed.
It's like a canopy bed with like drapey linens.
And she's kind of being awkward, and I said, maybe I'm a demon, but the coyness with that bed is dumb.
Yeah.
Because first off, you fully know what's going to happen tonight. And I get she's supposed to be 18 and a virgin, blah, blah, blah. But then after that, so he suggests let's go for a little swim.
And she's like, can I have a human minute? Which I was like, fine. You know what? I'm okay with it, because she was like, I need to.
But then what happened, I was not fine with. Montage.
Well, and in the book, she did. Yeah, that's pretty much what she did. I remember that in the book. So Edward's like, okay, I'm gonna go for a swim. He goes out to the beach. He's like, leaves her alone, and she's like very grateful. And you know what she decides to do is she decides to basically like do everything in the book. She brushes her teeth. She pulls out her razor to shave her legs, which is fine. It's all fine.
It's not fine, because here's the thing. Brush your teeth. First off, he's literally smelled your rank breath a mile away. He's a vampire. So whatever's going on there, and he doesn't breathe. So even if your breath does stink,
he can just stop.
And then she's like brushing her hair. You're about to go in the fucking ocean. You don't need to brush your hair.
I know. I was like, why?
She shaved her legs. Bitch, did you not shave your legs for the wedding? You just had
her dress was long.
And then the lingerie.
Who put the lingerie? Laughed my ass off.
It was
because Alice packed her bag, so she didn't
and it's
pack
not
anything.
her tea, which is fine, but like
she pulls out all this, and in the book it was the movie. It was not as skimpy. In the book it was like agent provocateur, like couture lingerie.
Well, she eventually starts wearing it, and first off, I said okay, I'm gay, but she doesn't look good in that lingerie. First off,
did she put anything on?
Yeah, afterwards when we'll get to it, wouldn't have sex with her.
Oh yeah.
She's like being
that's
cute.
like lingerie from like Walmart.
But
like,
she was not. She first off needs a sandwich. She looked like she weighed about 35 pounds.
Poor Kristen Stewart.
She goes through all that stuff. And then Edward's been in the ocean. I said he's probably
just standing there.
He's been in the ocean for 45 minutes. He's probably flicked his own bean twice because you've taken so long to go through all this.
And he's just literally standing in the ocean, staring at the moon. And then I put I cannot with the ocean scene. I remember the book. I just put the book was a lot better because it was a bigger build up. But so Bella rolls out of there. She's like, don't be a coward, Bella. Right. Don't be a coward. So she pulls herself up in a towel and she's like, you know what? Here's my chance.
Right.
She goes outside in this towel.
Tits out for the boys.
Yeah. She drops the towel. She walks in and I was like, you know what? Here's the thing. And I'm going to say this about the sex scene too. I was really disappointed that they did not show a little bit more nudity. I'm just gonna tell you. Like,
thank you.
I'm so sorry.
What's wrong
so
with
sorry,
it?
Mom. I'm sure this is like,
Right.
But I was like, I remember being in the theater and being like, "This is what I paid for." I wanted to see Edward Cullen ass. Like, why did I not?
We've
get that?
all been edged to this point. Take me over.
Right. I was like, why? But
Absolutely.
so she walks into the ocean and they're just standing. Like, she stands next to him. She's looking at the moon and Edward's looking at her and he's like, "You're so beautiful." And I just wrote, "I cannot.
I can't."
And then they start making out, which is so awkward because the arm placement to hide her boobs.
I was
like,
like,
"What? We can see a little side boob. It's
show
fine.
us a little, right?
It's whatever.
It's a kid show, but it's fine.
It was PG. Was it PG-13? I don't know. I think it was PG-13, which they could have showed more. I think in it. But anyways, so then they cut to the sex, and here we go.
It was too much.
I remember being in the theater, people screaming, like they
like
were so
they were
happy. Yeah.
Oh no.
So
no.
like there's real. It's a PG-13 movie, so there's not. We're not gonna like recap every move, but
no, but
I did. Say,
yeah.
He broke the bed, which was a huge thing
big deal
in the book too. But he immediately breaks the bed, obviously.
But I'm like, she wakes up the next day, the room is in disarray, and I'm like, and she's just like, waking up, and I'm like, you know what? He probably literally destroyed her punani based on how that room
let
looked.
Let me read you what I wrote. I said the next morning damage. In the book, she was a lot more bruised. She had bruises on her face and like she had one bruise on her arm. And then I put, bitch had the rough sex and is now dickmatized.
Thank you.
She
absolutely.
She was like sitting there remembering. She was like touching her face. I was like, this is so dramatic. I was like, this is the most dramatic thing.
It was not okay because she did talk about how she had bruises. He like, she had a couple bruises, and he's of course like, oh, I can't believe I did that.
He's so freaked.
But she says, and I quote, "I'm perfectly happy to let you abuse me unintentionally." Just kidding, she didn't quote and say that, but that's basically what she said.
I was like, that was
he's like, I hurt you, and she's just basically like, I don't care.
But I also think he's kind of shitty because she's like, no, you didn't hurt me. I was fine with that. But then he's like, no, we're not gonna have sex again. Fuck
and
your
then
sex.
Not her begging to be boinked after.
Oh my god,
begging.
Oh
I mean,
my
like,
god,
Edward.
I put let's give it to Bella for never stopping her pursuit of the sex because she really because Edward's like, you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna do every activity on this fucking island, which is not a whole lot because it's a remote island with nothing on it.
Right.
But they go swimming, they go hiking, they play chess. Shout out to the chess pieces,
right?
Which is the picture on the book. And then she's so tired every night and she just falls asleep. But every night she puts on a different piece of lingerie. And in the book, he was a lot more pained to not have sex with her. In the movie, it did not show that.
Right.
So then, she has a great dream. She's like dreaming. You think it's real. And then they like basically are about to have sex on the beach. And she wakes up and she starts like bawling her fucking eyes out. And she's like, I just had a great dream. And he was like, well, what was it? And she was like, I can't tell you because you won't do anything. And
it
so
was too
So
much.
then he gives in and they break another bed because there was 2 beds in the house. They break the other bed, which I think the breaking of the second bed was a lot more dramatic than the first one. And then, I put wolf scene. I don't remember what that is, but anyways.
Well, my thing is, can't you do other things?
Right.
You can do other things instead of intercourse.
I know. I thought that too. I was like, there's so much other stuff that they could have done. Like, but I also let's really briefly talk about the science of what's about to occur in a little bit. So he is dead. Blood does not run through his veins. This man can get a boner.
He did make a comment though. I think when they were in the ocean, maybe where like I don't know if this will work or something like that. He made some kind of comment of like that with her, and she was like, I don't care.
To me though, it doesn't make sense scientifically because if he's dead, no blood's moving through his veins. How can he get a boner? How can anything pass through?
Maybe it's the venom.
I'm sure Stephanie Meyer's done interviews and or like talking. I'm sure I could Google
Stephanie,
this,
Cullen,
please, Stephanie. I need to know the scientific rationale behind how Bella gets pregnant. But so they're at the island. They're still on the island. They have housekeepers come. They're I think from like they're Brazilian. They come. One of them comes from like a tribe. Ancestors descended from this tribe. She kind of is like looking at Bella funny, like because she kind of knows. She kind of knows I was a vampire. On. And then here we start the baby. Shit.
The baby.
So let's talk about this fried chicken thing because I did not believe. Who the fuck is like, you know what? I'm hungry. Let me whip up some fried chicken.
First off, she did not cook that correctly.
No, she didn't. It looked fucking raw.
I mean, she basically like just put it in a skillet.
Yeah.
There was nothing in that skillet.
I said.
And she just turned it over a couple times.
I said,
But I think that was the hint because she kind of like pulled it open, and there was like kind of blood in it, and she was like, ooh.
But I was like, who? when you're hungry, well, you're vegetarian, but I'm like,
Right.
I would not be like, you know what? I'm going to whip up some fried chicken.
But I think that was her being like, because she's pregnant,
Yeah.
like the meat and all that.
Yeah.
Because then immediately she goes and hurls it.
Right. She goes in the toilet and then Edward's just watching through the shutters like, ew. Do you remember
Right.
that? He was
literally
just like,
well,
he was like, oh my God. And she's like, oh, please don't watch me. And he's just like, it's fine. Like, he actually handled it pretty well.
yeah.
And then they had some really good product placement for Tampax because she's like, can you get my bag? And he opens it and there's a big box of Tampax.
Big old, right. Super
there.
jumbo.
And then she's like, how long have we been here? How long?
Right.
And I just want to say, and this is my opinion, I don't think I've ever counted like she did about her period. I have an app, girl. Get your
Well, it was
app.
2012. You know.
I had an app
Did
in 2012.
you have an app in 2012?
Yes. Yeah. I don't think I've ever, and I was like, how would you even, I don't know. She alarmingly was like, oh my God. And then she goes to the mirror and then now it's off. All bets are off.
All bets are off. Well, first off, again, weighs 35 pounds. So she's got her little
There's no
pudge.
fucking belly on her. There's not even a little bit of a belly.
No.
I was so mad. I was like, this is so dumb because I remember in the book, her belly was hard. It was cold. And like it was coming out a little bit.
Yeah.
But so then all of a sudden Alice calls because she loses Bella. Like she can't see Bella anymore. Edward has a legitimate
moment.
Nervous breakdown. And then Carlisle.
Because she goes, can vampires go into shock?
Yeah. And then Carlisle's like talking to her and then Edward snatches that phone right out of her hand and is like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
Bitch, shut the fuck up.
And then he's talking to her. He's like, is it possible? And he's talking so fast, but he's basically saying, is this possible? Can this happen? And then he's like, okay. And then he hangs up and he looks at her. He's like, we're going to get that thing out
time
of you.
to go. Right.
And
Bitch,
I'm just like,
go.
here's that pro-life propaganda we're seeing.
Oh, exactly.
I'm just saying.
This was it.
Which I'm like, okay, maybe this might be too political or too philosophical, but if I was her, I'd be scared shitless and I'd be like, yes, get this fucking thing out of me.
Oh, and she's not though.
No, she's like,
she's I said she's still a flop because she said this baby is a miracle. And I said, girl, it's going to kill you. She said, I can do this. I'm strong. I said, girl, shut up. You weigh 35 pounds.
I just was like, I'm a pro-choice person through and through. Like it's your choice, but I'm like, you don't even know what this is. Like I would have pissed myself. I would have gone home and I would have been like, Carla, get me on the table.
And even the vampire, they were like, we don't know anything about this.
They don't know.
And she's like, oh my God. Like,
but Edward's like, guess what, bitch, we're leaving.
Guess what? Mm-hmm.
The housekeeper, he talks to her and basically she says, Bella's going to die. Right. Long story short, Bella's going to die. Right. So then they get back to the plane. He gets out. Did you love it? He gets out of the car, doesn't even like interact with her. Is like, fuck you, bitch.
She's the pregnant like mistress. Right. Like, don't talk to me.
She's sitting in the car like, oh my God.
You?
And then she grabs her phone and she calls Rosalie, which we will talk about Rosalie.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah.
So this then flips to Jacob now because also Breaking Dawn is the first part is mostly Jacob's perspective. So they flip to Jacob and his dad's like, oh, Bella and Edward are extending their trip. It's fine. Something's wrong with her. She's sick or whatever. So then Jacob is like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to that Cullen house. I'm going to confront all those fuckers.
Right. Because fuck them.
And then he gets hit with the surprise of his life. So you don't see her. You don't see Bella at first. He's like talking to her. And then you kind of see like the side of her face. And then when they show her, I will say, shout out to makeup and special effects for Bella because she looked like an emaciated, horrible.
They did make her look. Because I was gonna say, like, is some of the is that CGI or is she?
I think it's a
some
little
of it was
both.
CGI. Yeah.
The bath scene, we can talk about that because I have a lot of opinions about the bath scene.
That was CGI.
But I said I hated looking at her after she got pregnant.
Looked awful.
And so you don't see her belly at first, but she looks really ill. She looks really thin, and then she stands up and her belly is showing, and then my God, Jacob loses it, and then the whole family is basically fighting over her reproductive choices, which I also hate because I'm like, this is weird. I hate it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it was supposed to be like a metaphor.
I'm sure it was. And then Bella's like, I can feel him. Like she thinks the baby's a boy.
It's a boy. I love him. Girl, shut up.
It's fine. We'll get to the other part.
Well, so when Jacob finds out, he lets the pack know.
Yes.
And they say, well, gotta kill everyone. Bye, Bella.
We gotta kill all y'all.
But then he says, no, honey. That's my baby I'm gonna imprint on later. Spoiler alert.
Well, and he's kind of like... Jacob kind of is like, no, I don't want to. I don't, because they're gonna kill Bella. They're like, we're killing Bella. We're going right for Bella. Fuck Bella.
Right.
And Jacob's like, no, I can't let you kill her because like she could survive. Like who knows? So then Sam and him have this big old fight, and he's like, and Jacob's like, I am the rightful alpha, whatever. So then Jacob splits from that pack.
Yeah.
And is gone. So then once he splits, he can't hear them anymore. Then Seth and Leah join him.
Yep.
So there's that. And did you love now Edward is the one who is search engineering vampire spawn?
Yeah, vampire
on
lore
Yahoo.
on fucking
Oh my god, I could not. That was awful.
It was too much.
I don't know if anybody's ever used Yahoo, no offense, as a legitimate search engine.
It's not useful.
It's fine.
It's not
useful. So he's looking up the macabre stuff. It's all
right.
sad.
They're trying to figure out what is this.
And then they flip to, and Carlisle's examining her and the baby.
To Carlisle's hospital in his home.
Right.
He has a full-on hospital in the home.
Does this man just like steal over time? Because how does he get, I mean, I don't think
he owns a fucking island, so I'm sure he can afford some medical equipment.
I'm sure he probably he's got a hookup. He's probably got a medical sales rep.
And he can run really fast, so he can just yank it out steal it. Yeah.
So he basically tells Bella she's gonna die. He's like, you're gonna die. There's nothing I can really do anymore. Mm-hmm. And even though you think the venom's going to save you, it's probably not, because you're probably going to die before the venom can even go inside of you. Mm-hmm. And she finally, because this whole goddamn time, she's like, I'm going to be great. Yeah. I'm going to be strong. Whatever.
She's a flop.
She finally gets
it.
And then her fight with Edward, I thought was actually pretty legitimately decent, because he's like, you have given me no choice. You've chosen for us what you're going to do. We never had a conversation about what was going to happen. And she's like, well, I knew what you were going to do. And he's just like, you've basically decided to leave me. You're deciding to. And she's like, well, you'll have a piece of me. And he's like, I don't want a piece of you. I would rather have you than this baby. And how do you think I could love this baby? I thought it was actually a really adult, legitimate, decent conversation.
But she's a flop. She didn't listen.
But she's stupid.
She's stupid. I hate her.
So then this does have to be a shot for shot. Then they go to the bathtub and Rosalie helps her bathe. Girl,
all of a sudden they're BFF.
That is CGI because she looked like a skeleton.
Yeah,
I hated
awful.
that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how? I would not want to have my sister-in-law bathe me.
No.
And Edward's just watching.
Well, and he came by and sees her like.
He like looks at her body, which I'm sure
he was like, ew.
And then, and then Jacob's kind of there trying to help protect them. And then he in his mind, he basically thinks like, oh, the thing probably wants blood. That's why. And so Edward's like, huh? Edward's like, what did you say, bitch? And he's like, I was being snarky. And Edward's like, no, because
he read his mind.
Edward read his mind, and he was just like, huh, let's try it. So then they pull out a bag of blood. Again, Carlisle just with blood everywhere. They put it in a cup, and she drinks it, and she gets better. She starts gaining weight, all this stuff, which is, her teeth get red. I had a hard time watching it. I'm not a blood person, but, and then it's really interesting because then the baby spawns a brain because now it can have thoughts.
Right.
So Edward can now hear the baby from inside of Bella.
Right.
So there's this cutesy, gross, barfy scene, in my opinion, where like he's like, oh my god, he loves you so much, and like, and she's like, I love you too, and like they have this little. Now they're all back together. Now Edward's on board because he's like, the baby doesn't hate you, the baby loves you.
And everyone's on board. Like Jacob's on board now. Like all. No,
he wants to die. He stormed out of there, didn't he? He was like,
no, not at that point. He did it. He did earlier because they got into it. About where was it? I wrote because I don't remember what they were talking about, but she's telling Jacob like, I only feel complete when you're around. Like, stay here in front of her husband,
right?
Mind you, while she's dying.
Oh my god.
Which we come to find out is, but no. After that, when they learn the baby is like not trying to kill her, even Jacob is like, oh.
Well, and let's talk about the baby names real quick, and then we'll take another break, and then we'll do the birth scene, and then I got a little quiz for us.
Oh, good.
So then Bella's got a lot of ideas about what she wants to name her kid, which if I was her friend, I would have probably backhanded her into next week if she'd told me. But she was like, they were like,
I probably would do it anyways.
She was like, I'm just thinking about names and blah, blah, blah. She's like, if it's a boy, I'm going to name it Edward Jacob. And I was like,
girl, bye.
And then she's like, if it's a girl, I'm going to, what do you think about Renesmee? I think her middle name was Carly for Carlisle and Charlie, but they didn't say that in the movie, but I'm pretty sure it was Renesmee Carly. Cullen.
I hated it. What do you mean, Edward? So the man you've been in this triangle of love
with. Isn't that
with,
so fucked up? That would be like
I would not be okay.
That'd be like if I had a baby and I told Justin that I wanted to name it after one of my ex-boyfriends. That's ridiculous. 100%. Ridiculous.
100%.
And then she wants to do Renesmee, which I think is a mouthful, and I don't think it's the best name. They just on Carly. That would have been a better first name, but it's fine. But it has to be unique because she's going to be a unique
she's that
baby.
Girl. Yeah, whatever.
So anyways,
Hated
all right.
it.
We're going to take, Any last thing?
Edward Jacob. No, I said Edward Jacob, girl, bye, and then I said Renesmee and imprinted. Right. Those were my comments.
Oh my God. Well, let's take one more. We'll take one more break.
We got to get to the.
We're gonna talk about the birthing scene, and then we got a little quiz. The birthing scene is chaotic as hell, and I have a lot of thoughts about that too.
We'll be right back.
Are you ready for the birthing scene?
We have to, yes.
So, okay.
So out of nowhere,
she's talking about the baby names, and all of a sudden, crack.
Right, back broken.
Baby kicks her right in the goddamn spine, breaks her back. She, I don't even know how to describe it. She contorts. She
just
falls. But
they're like her spine breaks. Like she
her spine legitimately broke. Yeah. In the book, it was from her perspective, and it, like explaining it, I remember it was crazy. Yeah, like the baby kicked her, broke her spine. She falls down. Edward catches her head. They all sort of catch her. Yeah, and then I had a hard time because I was like, this is your husband, your sister-in-law, your other sister-in-law, your best friend / ex kiss partner, and your business is all out on that table. Oh. Mm-hmm. So the baby is trying to get out, basically. Well, the baby's not trying to break out. She's having the baby, but they think the placenta, I don't know what any of these things
mean. Detached.
Detached. So she's freaking out. She's like, get him out, get him out, get him out, get him out.
Well, and so then they give her morphine. I'm not sure about that. Can you give a pregnant person morphine? I don't feel like that's right.
Maybe it's okay because she's half, like the baby's half vampire.
Maybe.
Because I don't think the morphine. Well, the morphine for Jacob didn't work because his temp burned it too fast. I don't know. I thought it was weird too.
I just thought that was odd.
I'm like, why didn't you give her like something else? But and Carlisle, Esme, Jesper, and Emmett are all gone because they went hunting. So it's literally just Edward, Rosalie, Alice, and Jacob there. Yep. So they got to deliver the baby. And all of them basically ignore Bella. She's like screaming her head off, obviously. And Edward has to bite her stomach open to get the baby out. Like chomping, C-section via teeth.
Well, because Rosalie started to. Right. And then blood. And she was like, gotta go.
Alice was the same thing. Alice kind of freaked out. And so they got out. And I think Edward knocked them both out of, Jacob tackled Rosalie.
Yeah. I don't think Alice was there. I think they left too.
No, she was, I thought she was in the house.
I think Alice and Jesper. Oh, they might have been somewhere in the house, but I don't think they were there.
Alice was there. I don't think Jasper was there, but Alice was. Anyways, so...
Yeah, so Edward chews out the baby.
It's a girl. Spoilies, it's a girl. And she's like, oh, she's so beautiful. And then she bites Bella's boob on the way out. I thought that was hilarious. They didn't say it in the movie, but she bit her boob. Yep. And she was like, And then Bella sort of weirdly, this fucking Bella dummy. I wish I could see this Bella dummy in real life because that was not Kristen Stewart. That was a fucking dummy that they had. But she's dead. She rolls over, light leaves her eyes, and then let's just call it what it is. She's a corpse. Jacob comes in, and he's
Rosalie got her second win. She comes back in, takes the baby.
Yeah, and she's like, "Let me take the baby. It's fine, girl. You are a baby napper. Where is that Code Adam?
Code Adam, baby napper on the loose.
She is though. Give me the baby.
She is
because
a baby napper.
That's what she wanted. So all of a sudden now, after this whole fiasco, she likes Bella because Bella had a baby. Just
problematic.
I hate it.
Problematic.
So Bella's a corpse. Jacob comes in, sick burn, and says to Edward, "You deserve this, bitch." Haha. And then inside, then they kind of show inside Bella's body, and the venom is getting to her.
Well, but first, Edward, that's right. How it got in was he has this preloaded gigantic
stainless steel.
We're talking what was Pulp Fiction level?
Oh my god!
Syringe to the heart of venom, which I said
stainless steel
because we said earlier that he doesn't have blood, it's venom, which is really cum. That he injects into her heart, and then that doesn't work. He just starts gnawing on her.
He just starts biting every pressure point on her body.
Yeah,
and. But then they show she's not moving. Her eyes are not closed.
She's dead.
They did a better job because in the book, I remember her. She was internally talking to herself. She was still alive, and she was like, "I'm burning. This is horrible." And I was like, why didn't they not do that? But anyways, but then they show inside of her body, and you can see the venom start going. Which I'm like, couldn't you hear her heart? She's not dead. She had a heartbeat, but. then Jacob's like, I'm gonna kill this little baby.
Yeah, Jacob is pissed.
He goes, I'm gonna kill this little baby.
Oh,
I'm gonna kill it.
Guess what?
And he's stalking into the house. The baby's looking at Rosalie, this fucking animatronic
CGI baby.
Why
Triggered.
did they? Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm like, they could have used a real baby.
Thank you.
They could have used a real baby or like a real like 10 month.
They literally used a CGI child up until she was like
face tuned to the gods. That.
Not even good.
No, it was bad.
Not
it was
even
bad.
good.
So the baby is looking, Renesmee is looking at Rosalie, and then all of a sudden the baby locks eyes with Jacob, and he just goes to his knees because guess what now?
Guess what, bitch?
That's his girl.
That's my girl.
Imprints on the baby,
Mm-hmm.
and then the wolves start. The Cullens, all the rest of the Cullens come back because they're
gonna
called
kill
Carla.
everybody.
So they start fighting, and then Jacob, the queen of the drama, runs out their
and
phases
says, "Guess what,
and
bitch?
says, "Yep,
you can't kill my imprinted baby.
this is my." And that Edward explains it's the most absolute law the wolves have. You cannot kill because I guess the book explains that there was long ago somebody accidentally killed the imprinted person of another, and it caused like a whole fracture within the pack.
Wow.
I remember that because it was a big deal. So now they can't kill the baby, so they're like, okay, bye, run off, and then it's really interesting because then they're all like, he's like, I don't know, she's alive. So then Bella's on this table, Skeleton Bella's on this
They've dressed
table.
her up. They put her in a little blue number.
They keep showing the inside, which again, it was pretty cool. And I remember like being real, and I thought it was still pretty cool today. Like the showing of the venom, like going
through everything.
But then you kind of see like she's laying there, her hair turns like the color that it used to be, like
she fattens
white.
up a little bit.
She fattens up. She loses all of her scarring, like from Edward.
Her ribs go back.
Her back, her back is unbroken. Her ribs go, and then like her face kind of fills in. She gets like really dark circles around her eyes. Her eyelashes magically grow and are mascara to the gods.
Didn't know that's how that worked.
And so, and they clean her up. They put her in like a cute little blue dress, and then they're like, you can hear her heartbeat. And in the book they described it better. Her heartbeat was like faster, and then it just stops. Like the venom just stops. So it stops. And the last scene of the movie is her opening her eyes, and the eyes are blood ass red. But did you stay tuned? Because there was an end credit scene.
Oh no!
Oh, you didn't? I don't know if any of the other movies have it. I don't know why, but I was like, let me look. There's an end credit scene with the Volturi. They get a letter from Carlisle that says there's a new member of our family, which is supposed to be Bella, and Aro reads it and he's like, huh? He goes, they have something that I want, and then it cuts.
Oh,
which is setting up Breaking Down Part 2.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I don't know how it aged. As I'm sitting here thinking,
the CGI baby did not age. Let's have that conversation.
And we can talk because as she grows, they could have done more. Even as she grew, it was still bad. I was like, why did they not just use a real baby? I know they wanted, because the whole thing is to show that she is accelerating at a rate.
Just use another child.
But use like a 3-year-old or something. Anyways.
I mean, I'm sure. I think it even would have been better for them to use a different child and like CGI, like young little. I forget her name. Mackenzie Foy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what you did, but it wasn't the tea.
Well, and you can tell it was so face tuned and so fake. Like, and I remember reading an article that basically said it was like they had it was like a 50-pound dummy they had to hold, and it was like a baby dummy, but they had to be like really careful with it. Yeah, I don't know. It was bad. I hate it.
You tell me you can't find someone who looks like Mackenzie Foy as a baby?
Yeah, or why can't you grab her like home videos as a child and like Photoshop? Like, I mean, like there's probably more.
You've been doing these damn werewolves for two fucking movies,
and they also could. I mean. I get that they were trying to show the imprinting. I'm getting but they could have used like a 6 to 10 month old baby.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, but anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
Well, we need to take a quiz.
Let's do it.
We'll take it together. It's how well do you remember Breaking Down Part 1? So we have to get 100%.
Perfect. This is gonna be really embarrassing.
I won't even read the answers unless we need them. But who unexpectedly shows up to Bella and Edward's wedding reception?
Oh, Jacob.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's a little picture of them dancing together. It was weird.
Oh, that's so cute.
Where do Bella and Edward go for their honeymoon?
Rio.
Well, they go to Isle Esme, but yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's in
that's
Rio.
The answer. And then that's a picture of Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson hugging in the water.
I will say he looked a little cuter in this movie. I think he looked a little cuter. I'm still not a fan of her.
But he had a real heavy, like, 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
Like, more so than the other movies.
He just looked cuter.
How far along is Bella when she realizes she's pregnant? Oh, this is a good question.
Oh, wasn't it like 3 days?
What was 3 days? But I think how far along is the pregnancy?
What does that mean?
Like, I would assume it means like how far along is the baby?
When she found out?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any
Maybe
sense.
it is a week. It's either 2 weeks, 2 months, a week, a month. I bet it's a week. It's a week.
Probably
Maybe
a
or is
week.
it 2 weeks?
Maybe,
Let's go a week.
Let's go.
No, it's 2 weeks.
Oh, whatever.
And then it's a picture of Kristen Stewart holding her completely flat stomach. Who does Edward ask to help him change Bella's mind about having the baby? This is kind of an important scene. I don't know if you remember it.
Jacob.
Yep.
Yeah.
He at one point he tries to have Jacob talk Bella out of the pregnancy. Who was the first?
Go figure, men trying to talk women out of a pregnancy.
Who was the first to break away from Sam's pack and join Jacob?
Seth.
Yeah. Because Leah comes next because she didn't want her brother to be alone. Right. What does Carlisle have Bella drink to get her stronger?
Blood. Come on.
It's human blood too.
Human blood.
Oh
yeah.
God, nasty.
Easy peasy.
What does Bella decide to name the baby if it's a boy?
Edward Jacob.
Yep. EJ.
Dumb.
Stupid. I hate it. What happens immediately after Renesmee is born?
Jacob imprints on her.
Yeah. Oh no, that's wrong. Bella's heart stops.
Oh, come on. Well,
I think we should get that right because that's pretty much immediately after. It's, I guess not immediately, but
sorry, I'm not a doctor and knew what was going on.
What does Jacob compare imprinting to? Gravity, love at first sight.
Gravity.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gravity. The quote is, "It's like gravity. Your whole center shifts. Suddenly, it's not the earth holding you here. You would do anything, be anything she needs, a friend, a brother, a protector."
That's a fucking baby. CGI baby.
That's a fake animatronic robot baby that you are imprinting on.
Dead.
Which scene is not shown during the montage when Edward changes Bella into a vampire? That was the loudest part. That's the dog. Oh God.
What are my options?
A flashback to Bella and Edward's wedding, Renesmee growing up, footage of Bella as a baby. I think it's that. A flashback to Bella and Edward's first kiss. It's her as a baby.
It's baby. Yeah, baby.
What? Oh, we're wrong. It says a montage of Renesmee as growing up plays when Jacob imprints on her, but not when Edward changes Bella.
Oh, when Renesmee. Oh, I thought it was Bella.
That.
That was stupid. Trickery.
Oh, what song plays during the end credits? I think it's 1,000 Years.
What are the options?
1,000 Years by Christina Perri, Decode by Paramore, I Caught Myself by Paramore, It Will Rain by... no, it's It Will Rain.
No, I think it's It Will Rain.
Yes, we're...
Yeah.
We got... We got
part two is the 1,000.
Yeah. I'm gonna say we got 9.
Another birth.
We got 9 out of 11.
Of a white people wedding song that's at every wedding.
We got 9 out of 11.
I think we got 10 out of 11 personally.
I gave us one more.
Oh, okay.
So
well,
we had 8,
okay.
but I gave us 9.
Well,
kids.
that was embarrassing.
For all of us, really.
For all of us, really. For all of us involved. Yeah.
It was tough. But you will have to stay tuned for the next episode where we go through part 2 and have a little surprise for you.
Little surprise. Yeah. We'll do a quick run through and then we'll have some better stuff for you.
Well, until next time,
stay away from fake CGI babies.
Oh my God. Yeah. Don't let them get you.
Don't let them get you. God forbid.
And don't let them face tune you because that's even more. You have to. She had like a fucking orb around her face, Kyle. You know exactly what it was like. The blur.
And you know what else she had on?
It was like the season 1 Drag Race filter.
She had a fucking wig too. Like they CGI wigged that baby right up. I would prefer.
Baby?
You know what they should have done? They should have taken Mackenzie Foy. They should have just wrapped her face in a blanket, put a wig on her. I would have accepted that.
Actually, yeah. I honestly thought when they announced
that.
who they were casting as the daughter, I thought they were gonna try to make her like. And they probably would have done a better job if they tried to take her face, shrink it down into like
shave her hair off. You put a wig on her later anyways, so just shave her hair off.
Oh my God. Anyways,
I can't. I'm
so sorry.
It's so sorry. We'll never.
We'll see the animatronic baby. We will be
talking about the CGI baby in the next episode.
Yeah,
so
and they also CGI
yourself.
Mackenzie Foy. Poor girl. I hate it.
There's one
scene where it's like so obvious, and I don't know why they did that because who the fuck cares? Okay, everybody. We're going to stop.
We got to stop because...
We'll go on for about 25 more minutes and Justin looks like he's going to scream. We hope you all stay tired.
And petty.